Hi everyone, it's Rachel from Sweet and Simple Home, and today I wanted to take you on the full tour of our basement renovated after a flood we had back in February. If you don't know our story, we had a pipe burst in a really frigid storm in February and it flooded the majority of our basement, and we had a lot of damage. We had a lot of stuff that had to be fixed, repaired, or replaced. It took us 9 months. But we did it, we were done. So we did hire out things like the professional drying of it. We had like dehydrators running, and we hired out the drywall process and the trim that needed to be installed. We did some of the stuff ourselves, like all the painting I did. I DIY'd a lot of things that we had to replace. I wanted it to be not just back to normal, but maybe just a little better than it was before, because I can't tell you how discouraging it is to spend that kind of money just to have something back to where you had it. When you renovate, you want it to be for the better. So that was my hope, and I have to say I am quite pleased with the result. We did end up replacing our carpet all the way up our stairwell. This space has become so much more functional and usable to my family because we really had to think about, okay, what really matters to us down here, because we're gonna have to either fix it, repaint it, replace it. So the stairwell itself got its own little makeover. After all the furniture and equipment was coming up and down the stairs, there was quite a bit of damage to the walls, scrapes and scuffs and stuff. So I took the time to repaint the entire stairwell a nice bright white, and I put in these really sweet mixed tile photos of my children and our family, and I went up as high as we could reach just to really draw the eye up and take advantage of that vertical space. At the base of the stairs, you'll notice we have the new carpet continuing down here. All the trim was replaced, all the damaged drywall fixed, and all the surfaces had to be painted. The walls and the ceiling, the trim, the doors, all of it had to be repainted or painted. We do have a little 3/4 bath down here, and it doesn't look much different than it did before. In here, it was all about just replacing what had been damaged. There wasn't really a need for me to redecorate. I discovered something really cool when I was painting this space. The gallon of paint that I used to paint the walls in here was a couple of years old, and I was worried that it would be all dried out, and it was kind of thick. So I did some reading, and you can add water to water-based paint and thin them out again to make them the right consistency, and it worked. So I was able to revive the paint. I didn't have to go buy another gallon of paint, which was a blessing. Money saver right there. At the end of the hallway, you'll see we have our laundry space, and I shared an in-depth video of this not too long ago, so I'll link to that video for you guys. But in here was the majority of the damage, so the majority of our funds went to repair this space. All of the things that you see here on the ceiling are fresh and new. The paint, the texture, the drywall, and we decided to not put a light fixture up there. We do have the recessed lighting in here still, and it's enough light with the 2 windows as well. I love the trim throughout the basement. Before, this trim was like bits of carpet along the wall, and the guy we hired to come do the trim told me he thinks the reason why the people before us chose to do that in this house was because the walls are very uneven. This is an old house, and he was showing me like how uneven some of the walls were, and he came up with some really ingenious ways to keep the trim on the wall and cut it and made it work, and we are so pleased with how he did that. It just turned out so nice. So I now have matching white trim throughout the basement, and I did not have that before, so I'm really happy with that. The other blessing was in how well the stenciled floor came out in the laundry room. That was a labor of love, let me tell you. I think about it and my knees start to ache because it was a lot of work and a lot of time, but I'm really pleased with the outcome, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I tried it. So our kids' rooms are down here, and I wanted to kind of make a statement because every time I mention that my children's rooms are down here, I get someone making a very harsh, judgmental comment about putting children downstairs. Of course, we are considering our children's safety to the max. There's lots of safety things that we have prepared for, and I just want to be preemptive about that and let you guys know we are keeping our kids safe. We've got their bunk beds, and pardon the bedding issue, it is really hard to make your bed when you have bunk beds, and so I just tell Liam if he can just fold his blankets, that's good enough for me, and that's what we do to make it work. So then we have my daughter's room, and I've shared an entire video with a real in-depth look at her space. She's been very inspired by Jane Austen, and she loves Jane Austen, so we have a very romantic inspired bedroom. Since I shared that video with you, she has added in a few more unicorns because she does love unicorns, and it's just looking like a real sweet little space right now. If you'd like to see her room tour, I will link to that up here and also down in the description box. It has been such a journey. I have to tell you, thank you so much for those of you who were encouraging to us during the whole basement flood issue. At times it was a pretty difficult and stressful journey, and you all were so encouraging and sweet in your comments, reaching out to me, letting me know that you're praying for us. You left like such encouraging comments whenever I shared what we were working on, and it was just such a blessing to have you guys along with us, so I'm really grateful. And every time I walk down here in this basement and I look around, my heart just swells with gratitude because this space went through a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey of renovating our home. I do have a playlist of all the videos that I've done in our renovation process, from the first time I told you about the flood all the way till now will be in a playlist. So if you'd like to see the full playlist of where we were at the very beginning when I first told you there was a flood, you can click on the playlist. I'll have it linked right here, and you can subscribe by clicking my face right here. I'd love to have you here at the Sweet and Simple home. You guys take care, and I will be back with more soon. Bye!